All right, that was beautiful. I love coming into that anyway. Would have been earlier, but I got really into True Colors by Justin Timberlake, and I missed my turn. Honestly, it was a real good song. I was singing with all my heart. But anyway, so now we're going to talk about Jesus. Okay, so James chapter 1, verses 2 through 8. We're talking about trials and suffering. So trials and temptations. I'm going to explain different trials and temptations, but I'm also going to start a little bit backwards. All right, so we're going to start with 1 Peter 4, verses 12 through 19, where it says, "Dear friends, do not be surprised by the fiery ordeal that has come upon you to test you, as though something strange is happening to you. But rejoice in so much as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed with his glory when his glory is revealed. If you are insulted because of the name of Christ, you are blessed, for the Spirit of glory and the God rests on you. If you suffer, it should not be as a murderer, a thief, or any kind of criminal, or even a meddler. However, if you suffer as a Christian, do not be ashamed, but you praise God that you bear the name. For it is a time for the judgment to begin with the house of God. God's household begins with us. And what will the outcome be for those who do not obey the gospel of God?" All right, so there's suffering just because for being a Christian, right? You got to kind of expect that. You're going to suffer because you're a Christian. Not because people don't like you, not because people don't think you're okay, not because you're doing something special. It's just because you represent Christ. You are going to suffer. So that's one form of suffering. Another form of suffering is from Romans chapter 8, verses 12 through 17. "Therefore, brothers and sisters, we have an obligation, but it is not to the flesh, to live according to it. For if you live according to the flesh, you will die. But if by the Spirit you put to death the misdeeds of the body, you will live. For those who are led by the Spirit of God are children of God. The Spirit you received does not make you slaves so that you live in fear again. Rather, the Spirit you received brought about your adoption to sonship. And by him we cry, Abba, Father," which is kind of like saying daddy. "The Spirit himself testifies with our spirit that we are God's children. Now, if we are children, then we are heirs, heirs of God and co-heirs with Christ. If indeed we share in his suffering, in order that we may also share in his glory." So there's suffering being a Christian, and then there's suffering that we endure by abstaining from sin. So instead of jumping in and sinning how we want, living how we want, just doing everything, there is suffering that we will endure by not participating in that. Right? Now, if you say, "I don't sin because, I don't enjoy that," you're probably lying. Right? Most people I know who sin enjoy it. When I sinned, I was like, "Oh man, this is not fun." You tend to enjoy it. And so this suffering we say is, I'm not going to indulge and enjoy sin. I would rather suffer. If I suffer now, I'll experience glory with the Lord later. If I decide I want to glory in sin, I will suffer later. All right. And now that brings us to this kind of suffering. James chapter 1, verses 2 through 8. That is a cool sweatshirt, by the way. James chapter 1, 2 through 8. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. Because the testing of your faith produces perseverance." All right? Anybody know what perseverance is? Anybody who goes to college knows what perseverance is? Yes. Iowa Lakes at its finest right there. Good job. Yes. Persevere. Right? Persevere. Get through it. Get through it. Get through it. Right? So we know that the testing of our faith gets us through it, right? Pure joy. You're supposed to count these trials and tribulations as pure joy. Have you ever been excited when you go through a trial? Anybody? Nobody? Oh, you guys know what you're missing. It's fun suffering, right? No, he's just saying, listen, the first thing that happens is to test you. Are you going to get through this, or are you just going to give in? Right? This trial that's coming upon you, God is allowed to do that to show you something about yourself. I didn't play football in college because those guys were huge. I was like all of 120, not getting a concussion, right? So I ran track. But there are a lot of guys who played football in high school like me who thought, I could do that, right? And there was this one guy who was he was the male cheerleader. And it's fine if you're a male cheerleader, but he was, and he's got to hose people up and stuff, right? And so he was like, I could do what they could do. And so the football players, they said, let's test this. So he came out there and he started to work out with them in the summertime. And spaghetti was everywhere. After the first 5 minutes, he was, I can't do it. He's falling out. We got to give him like IVs. And everybody's kind of mad, like, dude, you just puked on the parking lot, right? I can't eat spaghetti to this day because of that, right? But the thing was, he couldn't persevere. He couldn't get through it, right? And so that trial he went through showed him where he really was. And so when you go through trials, they produce perseverance for you. In other words, they help you overcome it. They help you push through. This is designed by God to get you through, or you're going to find out you're not who you think you are. You don't have as much faith as you thought you did. Perhaps you're struggling with something that you didn't realize you were struggling with. Now listen, the whole thing of perseverance, the whole thing of pushing through, you got to get through to the end. Right? You have to go to the end. And look, let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Now, you may say mature, which is fine, even though it's not properly right. It's okay if you say it. I'm not going to be mad at you. All right, so what does it mean to be mature, though? Or mature? What does that mean? Anyone who's ever attended any kind of school in your life, what do you think it means to be mature or mature? If I say you're a mature person, I am saying you are. Anybody who went to Moody Bible Institute that's a girl? Oh, you. I'm sorry. Great. Good. What does it mean to be mature? Right. You're not some little kid, right? Right? Okay? When kids don't get, well, my kids don't do this. Hope your kids don't. When some kids don't get the way they're like, I can't believe you did. Right? Exactly. Right? It's the first one. What's wrong with you? All right? What, are you 6? Like, I say that a lot sometimes, especially when I go to Iowa Lakes. Are you 7 or something? What's wrong with you? You're a grown man. Right? So anyway, are you mature? Right? And so it says with perseverance, you get some maturity. Right? Because there's an epidemic going on in the local church. It's scary, right? The skin is so thin that it just cuts with anything, right? You try to correct somebody, you encourage somebody, hey man, you should stop doing that. Don't judge me. How could you say that? I'm true to my own truth. Oprah said it, it's got to be true, right? And so the problem is we don't want to grow up in the faith. And the Lord God Almighty says, I'm going to help you mature. So you go through a little trial. You go, when I run into some college kids who, I think I might get a C. If that's the worst thing that happens in your life, let me know. Because I can deal with that problem. You got to grow up a little bit. So God says he allows you to go through some perseverance, right? My son Curran, he's mature for his age. He can't stand Awanas. It's not a knock. He just can't stand. He's like, now I'm more, and I think more than this. You know what I told him the other day? Suck it up, buttercup. Okay? You're going to be all right. Right? Oh, if you think you're that good, then humble yourself and learn. Endure something. But I just think, yeah, I know. You like me. Right? We're way beyond our years. I get it. I understand your plight. But I'm just telling you, endure it. Right? And listen, the Lord allows us all to go through trials so we can become a little more mature. So we can endure some stuff. You got to, one day you got to grow up. High school is not forever, though some people think it is. Right? So you let perseverance have its complete work. Instead of trying to jump out the trial, stay there. Grow up a little bit. Right? We live in a world now, if you don't get your way, you're up. I'm gone. They don't understand me. I got to be me. I got to, you know what? I should have $35,000 the first year out of college because I'm that intelligent. Hey, listen, when you get your BA, you get out and you go get a job and they say $20,000, you go, yes. It's exactly why I spent 4 years in school and am in $100,000 in debt just for this job. Right? But you wait, you mature, you grow, you learn. You take your time. So you can be complete, not lacking anything. What does it mean to not lack anything? Okay. If your dad's a pastor, what does it mean not to lack anything? Oh, I'm sorry. Your father's a pastor. I saw him Monday. Wow, this is amazing. Who knew this would happen? Wow. So, what does it mean to be complete, not lacking anything? No, not Moody. I'm on crossroads. What does it mean? That one pretty good. I like that, right? Your relationship, right? You're growing. You're growing, right? You know, how many of you guys ever saw Jerry Maguire? Shame on you, you sinners, right? Now, I saw it too, okay? Then I got saved. Right now, I got to stop telling that joke. People think I got saved like yesterday. So, anyway, here's the thing. You remember that one scene in Jerry Maguire where, you know, he runs in the room and has this emotional speech that does kind of get you choked up a little bit. And he's saying all these wonderful things. And he finally said, "You complete me." And she was like, "Shut up. You had me at hello." Touching scene. I'm telling you, YouTube that part and only that part in the movie. But, you know, what he was saying was, with you, I'm full. I've got everything that I need. You make me whole, right? And with Christ, the relationship with God, we become complete. Yes, we were made whole. And God is saying, I'm using these trials to make you whole. Because some of you are lacking something. How many of you say you're a very patient person? Oh, yeah. How many of you say you're loving? Right. Now, when you don't get your way, are you patient? Right? When you get that little blue screen, blue circle thing going like that on your internet, do you kind of, I can't believe, it's so slow. Come on, I got 95 gigabytes on this thing, right? Some of you just feel conviction right there, right? When you can't get something that you want, when you can't get your way, you get frustrated, you get angry at people, you get bothered by them because you can't, right? You realize that about yourself. Right? And sometimes you need to realize how incomplete you are. You know what I love about trials? They continue to remind me that I'm constantly in need of Christ. You ever realize that about a trial? You realize how much you need Jesus like every time? You thought you knew how to pray until you had to kind of pray. Right? You realize that you really don't spend time in the Word anymore. But when you go through a trial, you get real holy, don't you? I mean, you are the holiest person ever walked the face of the earth. You should teach a sermon next Sunday, right? Because that's how much time you've been in the Word this week, because you're enduring something. And what these trials can show you is, I'm lacking. I'm slacking off in this. Because sometimes what we do is we go through a trial, we get real excited, yeah, I'm over it, and then you just go back to doing what you were doing. What sense does that make? You haven't grown any. And so you need to go through a trial. This is why you count it on joy, because you're growing up. Listen, I'm so excited for when some of you get married and the bills are due and you ain't got the money. Because you're going to learn how to balance a budget. Let me tell you what. You can learn that ramen noodles is the best cuisine known to mankind. It hits all the nutritional values that you can think of. Right? Yeah, I know. When you're broke, it is exquisite. You go to Chez McDonald for dinner sometimes too, right? But you learn these things, but you got to go through it. You got to endure some stuff. You can't be afraid. You got to be willing to go through it and consider it a wonderful moment. Now, when you go through these trials, have you ever read a book that gives you details of how to endure each trial you go through? Anybody ever read a book like that? Okay, I know what you're going to say, the Bible. Right? I'm not talking like that, but that's a good one. I saw it. He had all that Moody was coming out. The Bible says in John chapter 7, I love Moody Bible Institute, I really do. I know Chris is alum too, I love it. Sorry, I couldn't help with that joke. Anyway, but the thing is, there's necessarily not a detailed thing. So as a pastor, I get questions all the time. People are going through hard times, and there's nothing that, I can't. Sometimes I just can't understand. Like there's nothing generationally for the time that says, okay, you're struggling watching this stuff on a computer. There's no computer in there. But what I do find is, hey, in this trial, listen, I want you to ask God for wisdom. I want you to go and seek the Lord. Because sometimes what we do too when we go through these trials, we go to other people to give us the answer of how to overcome it and get through it. Right? It's like the college trick I did with my dad all the time. Hey, Pop, about to go back. Oh, man, groceries or something out there. I tell you, boy, I'm starving in my dorm, Dad. Boy, I love you, man. You know that? What am I really doing? Exactly, without even saying it, right? I'm coming to him really just to get this money, right? And sometimes that's what we do with people when we go through trials. We come to them and we talk about it, and then we wait. What do you want me to do? I want you to give them the answer. Go. How am I going to get through this? Go. You know, why don't we ask God? Do you ever think that maybe God is letting you go through a trial so you can come to Him? Because you go to everybody else. I mean, you go to everybody in your mama, you talk to the pastor, the youth pastor, the lady who works with the kids in the back who's got like a hair right there that pokes out. You talk to everybody but the Lord. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If you know an old lady who has hair poking out her face, please tell her I'm sorry. Anyway, the point I'm making is this. You turn to God. That's what you turn to. You turn to the Lord. You ask Him for wisdom. And if you ask God, what does He do generously? What? Gives what? Yes! That's hermeneutics. Good job, right? He gives you wisdom generously without finding fault. Right? He'll give it to you if you just ask. You're struggling with the trial and you don't know what to do, and you haven't. Because you know this, when you go through trial, what do we pray? God, get me out of it. What? Lord, give me wisdom in the midst of this. Can I learn from it? Right? I remember I was talking to somebody, and they would tell me they're on a diet. Yeah, I'm on a diet, man. You know, I really got to get on this diet. I understand that, man. I understand that. So we were at McDonald's, and I'm getting number. Listen, I'm skinny. I need to eat, right? And I get a number 4, and he's like, yeah, give me. I want the salad and no salt in the fries, but give me a big cheeseburger, give me the double Mac, and give me a Diet Coke. Right? That's not wisdom. Right? That's not wise. That's not using your brain. Right? You got to ask God for wisdom. And here's the thing. When God gives you wisdom, like the doctor would give that guy wisdom, don't eat that stuff anymore. Guess what you have to do with that wisdom? Isn't that amazing? Right? It's like when people come asking for money. Hey, can I get $20? We're low. Great. Here, man, here's $20. You can go to the store and get that. No, I just want to go to McDonald's. I didn't really want to go to the grocery store. Oh, that's smart. I like how you know what? I should do the same thing every day, right? No, you got to use this wisdom that God gives you because it's free. He gives you this free wisdom in order to get through this trial. He's going to give you the wisdom. You just got to ask, right? But when you ask, can you doubt? Or should you believe? Should you, this has got like a pointer on it. Should you doubt or should you believe? Huh? What? You said believe. I thought Sierra said, I'm sorry. Believe, yes! You just listen, believe and He'll give you this wisdom, right? And I almost tripped on the carpet. You got to believe in His wisdom, right? You got to believe it. You got to believe He's going to do this because He will. If you ask God for help, what's He going to say? No, I don't like you. God's not like us. Right? He's not like us. He will give you wisdom. All you have to do is believe. But if you doubt, you're like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind. Or I guess in our case, you're like the snow blown and tossed by the wind. And the person who asks God for wisdom to get through that trial should not expect anything from the Lord because he doesn't believe. Right? He's not really coming to the Lord asking for wisdom. He's coming to the Lord just say, get me out of this so we can be done with it. Don't ask and believe. Because if you ask and you doubt, you're a double-minded person. Right? This trial that God is trying to get you through is to grow you as a person, as a human being. Right? You want to be a good husband, you might go through a trial. You got to go through it. It is what it is. You want to be a good father, you might go through some trials. You want to be a Christian especially, you're going to go through some trials. You got to grow up some. Right? Now, growing up is fun, isn't it? Isn't it fun paying taxes? Oh, man, isn't it fun when you wake up in the morning and something is just popping and you don't know what that is inside your body, right? It's so fun growing up. You got to be responsible, and then you have to be a model Christian for people. You got to show people how to walk to the Lord and love people. You got to be mature at all times. Even when your kids are nagging you, you still got to be I'm going to live for Jesus. And then when you mess up, you got to show this is how you overcome it. This is how you deal with it. You have to go through this stuff, right? So don't run from a trial. Listen, here's some great encouragement for you. Suffer. Right? Anybody here see Bye Bye Birdie? Come on, you musical people. You never seen Bye Bye Birdie? My goodness. Conrad Birdie. We love you, Birdie. Oh, yes, we do. You guys have heard my heart.
I think so. Sing a little more.
No, I'm good. I'm remembering something. Do the next scene, right? But there was a line that Conrad Birdie always said. I used to love it. He would say, suffer, right? He would say that line time and time again. And I'm telling you to suffer. That's essentially what I'm telling you. Now, I want you to think of something. The people that James is writing to, they're suffering. And he tells them to count it as joy. Now, their suffering and our suffering are two different things. Right? We think their suffering is somebody talking about them. No, that's not what they were enduring. I mean, these people were going to jail. They didn't respect Christianity. They were being beaten. This was not a cool time. And he says, listen, count it joy. Listen, this is chapter 1. This is the opening line in the letter. People are reading this letter from James, who was like a pastor, really excited, like, oh man, Pastor James is going to tell us something great. And he says, count it all joy. Hey guys, you better count it all joy. And everybody's excited. Yeah, all right, we're doing it. And then he says, when you go through trials of any kind, and people start, hey, whoa, James, hey, man, no, that's not what we want to hear. But James says this is an opportunity to grow. So listen, my encouragement to you is count it joy. So suffer. I mean, that's so crazy to tell you, but suffer. And I guess enjoy it. Enjoy the opportunity that God has given you to grow. Right? Because if you go through a trial and you don't come out more mature, then you kind of wasted your time. Your pain has purpose. Right? It does. Now listen, if you're a deep Baptist, then you know we talk about suffering all the time. Though I'm not Baptist, but we talk about it all the time. Suffering. Suffer. Don't waste your pain. All right. That's all I got. Good. It's 9 o'clock. So I'm going to get you guys out of here after the questions, though. Right? Yep. And I want to eat Hardee's. Okay. Oh, I said that on here.